Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Justin Daniel Finance. I am Justin Daniel, and thank you so much for tuning into the channel. If you are new here, please go ahead and hit the like and hit that subscribe because that's what's really going to help this channel grow. And so if you support videos and quality content on growth stocks such as Palantir, PaySafe, Desktop Metals, Upstart, and many others, then please go ahead and show your support. And if you are already a subscriber, I just want to say thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're subscribing, you can still feel free to hit the like and drop a comment because I love to interact and hear from other people who are interested in these kind of stocks. Now, today I'm going to talk about a stock that I haven't talked about for a minute. It's a company called Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, and it's actually my second biggest holding. It's a company that I'm really excited about. I really like this company. I really like what they're doing, and I really like their growth opportunities. There's some news that I want to cover. So there's a couple of things that I want to go over here in this video that I hope you're going to find interesting. So please do go ahead and stick around until the end. Okay, so the first thing that I want to cover today, before I get into some of the news, is just taking a look at the recent price action, because the price action has been pretty good for Palantir lately. And if we look at the 5-day chart here, you can see that it's up 6.75% over the last 5 days. That's as of the close Friday. I'm taping this over the weekend. Don't know what it's going to do next week, but as of current, 6.75% in 5 days is pretty good, but if we look at the last month, it's up over 21%. So that really is not too shabby. It's definitely gaining some traction. It's definitely kind of on the upward trajectory, which I love to see because, again, it's my second biggest holding. I do plan to hold long and strong with a company like Palantir. So definitely this is not, a recommendation because I'm not an advisor, but I'm just sharing with everyone what I'm doing and how I feel about the stock. And I think it's a great company. Doing a lot of exciting things in the worlds of data analytics, artificial intelligence. And taking a look at some of the stock chart, and I'm not a technical trader, but I want to share this chart from this gentleman, Jake. I don't want to pronounce his last name because I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly, but he is someone who I follow on Twitter. And what he shows here is a green check mark for both, launchpad liftoff and volume-backed breakout. So that means that he is kind of projecting that based on the charts and taking a technical look at it, that he thinks we're poised for a breakout, which would be great. I would love to see that. Again, I'm not a technical trader and I'm holding long on this company, but if we do have some more green days, weeks, months ahead with a nice breakout on the way, I'm certainly not going to complain about that. And the company did just recently get added to the Russell 3000 index. So it's a rebalancing. It's great to see. It kind of just means that there should be more institutional buying, at least in my opinion, now that they are on the index. So that's good to see. And one more chart that I want to throw up. You see a chart here from Stock Charts saying that the accumulation/distribution line is basically flying, and it's indicating that the bulls are coming out in force, overwhelming the bears. So I like to see that. Again, I'm just hoping that this means that from the technical charts that people are looking at, they feel that there's going to be a breakout in the action ahead. And I hope that that's the case, but I guess we shall see. So now that I've covered all that, let's get into some of the news. There's two pieces of news that I want to cover that I think is going to be really good for Palantir in the short and long term. Okay, so first things first, Palantir recently announced last week a partnership with DataRobot. And DataRobot is another company in kind of the AI space. They say augmented intelligence. And what they're doing with this partnership is building a new model for forecasting for retail suppliers to understand their demand and to forecast the amount of demand they're going to have. And I think that this is really great because if you're a retailer, especially if you're a large chain, you're trying to forecast, all right, what is our inventory needs? What is our demand going to be? What are people going to be buying? And if you can use tools in the AI space that can help you more accurately predict this, with better precision and better timeliness, this is going to be great. And there's going to be a lot of retailers out there who are going to want to use this, in my opinion. I mean, think about it. If you're a retailer and you could use an AI tool that's going to let you more accurately accurately predict what you need to be stocked and, forecast that, I think that's great. So I think it's a really good partnership. It's good news. I like to see this because I like to see Palantir kind of expanding, beyond the government with the Gotham program, which is 100% government based, but their Foundry program is an area that I would like to see them expand more and more in depth to. So the fact that they are doing it with partnerships like this is just pretty phenomenal, if you ask me. And it says here, by combining the power of DataRobot's augmented intelligence platform with Palantir's capabilities, we're helping out joint customers create longer lasting, more flexible AI solutions that will generate tremendous business value. So again, kind of that point of expanding from the business enterprise, the Foundry piece of that, I think it's great. And actually Palantir, this is kind of a side note, this wasn't something I intended to mention, but I did see that they took out a full page ad in the Wall Street Journal recently, just kind of letting businesses know that, hey, we might be a potential solution. And so I love to see them aggressively targeting businesses. Now, here's a quote from the COO, Chief Operating Officer from Palantir, says, "This partnership brings together the best of both companies' offerings, which we're excited to see what our customers are able to do with this new solution." So that's what he's basically saying, and saying at Palantir, we tell our customers that when they upgrade their software, they upgrade their business, and this partnership profoundly speaks to that reality. That upgrading your demand forecast, upgrades inventory planning, pricing and promotions, logistics, production, and much more in order to help retailers and the customers have better demand forecasting, because it is indeed such a complex thing. Now, this is another little side note before I get into the next piece of news. So the first piece I wanted to cover was the partnership with DataRobot. I've kind of covered it pretty extensively there, explaining why I think it's a good thing. Little side note before I talk about the next piece of news I want to talk about, but I did want to share this article here that basically says Palantir's abundant free cash flow will float the stock higher. So, that's something that I think is really cool, kind of like back to the technical charts. I'm not a technical guy, but, I do understand fundamentals. I do understand free cash flow is definitely a good thing. And so this particular article here is basically saying that, in effect, that Palantir is worth somewhere, roughly 30% higher than what it is valued at today based on the free cash flow. So you can go take a look at the article and kind of get in depth. But again, I just kind of want to say that the hopes and possible expectations for me personally is that the stock does have some more good green days, weeks, months ahead. Obviously there's going to be some red days as well, but it seems like that based on the free cash flow of what they're saying here, the valuation based on, the charts on the technical side, that there might be some good price action in the days to come. So I just kind of wanted to share that real quick as well. Okay, so the next piece of news that I wanted to cover was something that was recently, earlier this month in June, announced, is that Palantir has kind of ventured into the area of SPAC investing. And at first glance, that may not sound that intriguing because of the fact that SPACs were super hot for a while there, back in like the last quarter of 2020, and kind of leading up in that time frame. And then they really cooled off at some point and kind of became a dirty word almost, and just there were so many SPACs and they kind of really lost a lot of their luster. So, there is that, but like it says here in this article, Alex Karp who's the CEO, by the way, of Palantir, Alex Karp, appears to be playing chess rather than checkers. And with something like this, if you kind of take a look at some of the SPACs they're investing in, this is very strategic because it's not just, random companies. They're companies in the field such as, robotics, electric vehicle, the vertical takeoff, which is not electric cars, but electric, air-based vehicles. They call them vertical takeoff. We got connected vehicles, we got stem cell therapy, and we've got, telemedicine, which are all kind of, emerging, disruptive types of fields, and companies that could use a platform such as Palantir's to kind of enable it to grow further and faster. Guess what? That's just going to increase the trajectory of which these investments will pay off dividends, multiples, over the long run. At least that's how I'm taking it, and I'm excited to see this. I am excited to see Palantir kind of stepping up to another realm of not only providing an amazing, AI platform and not only making good partnerships and getting big contracts with the governments and in the world of business, but they're also investing and in companies that can bring major returns, especially if they're the type of companies that can utilize Palantir software. So this is pretty cool. And if we look at the kind of companies, again, robotics. So here's the first one. Sarcos is a robotics company with the goal of multiplying worker productivity while reducing injury. So robotics, looking to increase productivity, reducing injury, very exciting stuff. And I have no doubt that Palantir's platform could probably be helpful in that endeavor. The next one we're talking about was Lilium. And basically it says here that it's the flying Tesla. Why is it the flying Tesla? Because it's an electric vehicle, but it's not on the ground, it's in the air. So, that's pretty cool. It says here that it's a leading player and one of the first in the space, has advanced a very innovative prototype and has raised $1 billion. So, this is definitely something to keep on your radar if you're a Palantir investor. Next one. Wejo, and that's for We Journey at connected cars. And I've heard some kind of, murmurs out there that this could potentially lead to a partnership with Tesla. And that may or may not be the case. It's speculation, but either way, autonomous driving, connected vehicle, utilizing AI from a company like Palantir, I think it's just tremendous. But basically it says, why did Palantir invest in SPACs? And it says the Palantir investment in each of these companies is a reflection of the long-term lens that Alex Karp has applied to the. So again, chess, not checkers. Disrupting massive industries using big data to do so. So, that's what it's all about. Disruptive companies using AI and using Palantir's platform. So I think that that's really cool as well. So those were the two things that are pieces of news that I really wanted to talk about Palantir. In addition to the breaking price action that potentially may lie ahead of us, we've had some good price action in the recent week and recent month, as I highlighted. Hope for more of that. Love to see that they are going into partnerships with companies like DataRobot, like we talked about, and glad to see that they're expanding their horizons into investing in companies that are future, potentially disruptive, massive companies. So that's, I think, very exciting, makes me more and more bullish to be an investor of Palantir, a tremendous company that I plan on holding for many years, because right now it's roughly a $50 billion market cap company, give or take. In my opinion, if they keep going at this clip and getting all these contracts and growing in all these strategic ways, I see it being at least $500 billion company in the years ahead, if not $1 trillion. And there's not many $1 trillion market cap companies out there. So that is really saying something. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen in a couple years and no one's got a crystal ball. Again, this is not advice. This is just my opinion. But I could see it being $1 trillion company within a decade. So that's massive. That would be a 20x. Really is possible, in my opinion. So that's kind of my take on it, and I just wanted to get this out to everybody to kind of let you know what I was thinking about Palantir. I haven't forgot about Palantir, very bullish on it, really like the company. So if you like this video, please go ahead and let me know. Hit a like, hit a comment, hit a subscription. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as I can so that I can really continue to grow this channel, and I would appreciate all of your support. And if you watched all the way through to the end, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that as well. And I'm going to wrap up now by saying this is Justin Daniel Finance. Growth stocks is the name of the game here on this channel. Thanks again for being a part of this journey. And until next time, enjoy the rest of your day and take care.